Hi, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight podcast powered by C Crew. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank. Today on the podcast, Katie Forcade chats with Greater Cincinnati Foundation CEO Matthew Randazzo about the 2025 Devou Cup Honoree, which will be handed out at annual dinner on September 25th. We are also joined by Joy Hutcherson of Oswald Companies. She shares the importance of having a strategic broker for your organization. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, C Crew, Google and Amazon advertising experts, and Schneller Knockelman. We invite you to register now for the Women's Initiative 2025 Regional Summit powered by PNC, which is happening on Wednesday, November 5th. Join us for a day that's not just about taking notes, but discovering what's next and building your future and community. This is a can't-miss event for professional women of all ages and at all career stages. You can learn more and register at nkychamber.com/events. Now let's go meet our members of the week, hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back with this week's guests.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. C Crew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, C Crew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can C Crew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Congratulations to our members of the week. You can learn more about these businesses by following the Northern Kentucky Chamber on social media, where we highlight one of these businesses each day. Now, let's meet our members of the week. Skyline Chili puts a new twist on tradition, starting with a bold secret recipe chili, layered over spaghetti and topped with a signature mound of shredded cheddar to create the world-famous three-way. Hamilton Demo provides executive search and placement across all industries and provides customized project work for companies' workforces. Erlanger-Ellesmere Independent Schools is an innovative district that serves a diverse population of students in a tight-knit community environment. The World Affairs Council Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky connects our region to the world by fostering global awareness and engagement. Wags Grooming in Newport, Kentucky is an affordable, experienced pet salon offering flexible scheduling that fits your life.
Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Forcade, and here with me today is Matthew Randazzo, CEO of the Greater Cincinnati Foundation. It's nice to have you here today, Matthew.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Of course. Now, today, we're talking about a very exciting, event coming up with the annual dinner happening on September 25th. Today, we're talking about the Devou Cup that you guys give out every year. So kind of just take me through, what is this and why is it given?
Yeah, thank you. The Devou Cup really is a nod to a Northern Kentuckian who has really worked to increase the vibrancy and quality of life of the region. And so it is GCF's way of recognizing our civic heroes who often work behind the scenes as volunteers or paid staff in really making Northern Kentucky a better, brighter place for everyone to live.
That's amazing. And take me through, who is this year's recipient and why?
So this year's recipient is Jean Shore, who is president and CEO of the Catalytic Fund. The list of reasons that Jean should be recognized for this award are about a mile long, but I'm going to try to summarize it in a few things. First, when you think about Northern Kentuckians who have really worked tirelessly both in their professional and personal and volunteer capacities to improve the region, Jean's name comes to the very top of that list. She's an active civic volunteer supporting issues and causes throughout Northern Kentucky. But also, if you think about her leadership of the Catalytic Fund, it is really remarkable. What started as this bullish idea that we could invest in revitalizing Northern Kentucky neighborhoods has led to $32 million of direct investment in the region that has unlocked nearly $500 million of development activity throughout the River Cities. And so those are just a handful of the reasons why we're so excited to celebrate Jean.
That's amazing. Oh my goodness. I love it. Are you going to be at annual dinner this year?
I am. I love it. I am, I'm relatively new to the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky region. I moved here from Dallas in 2023. There are a handful of events that I prioritize and attend, and this is one of them because it is this amazing celebration of, again, I use this term like the civic and business heroes who are really shaping our region. And the energy and the connection and collection of people in that room puts wins in my sails to continue to do the work that I do.
I love it. Is there a specific thing you're looking forward to this year at annual dinner?
I just love, frankly, the opportunity to connect and reconnect. I mean, my role leading the Greater Cincinnati Foundation, it's a tri-state leadership role. So we're working in Northern Kentucky, we're working in Southwest Ohio, we're also working in Dearborn County, Indiana. And so at times I feel like I'm stretched across 8 or 9 counties throughout this region. And so this is my chance to really just be fully in Northern Kentucky and see old friends and to begin to conspire. That's my favorite part about some of the great things that we can do together with other civic partners and business partners in the region.
I love it. Oh my goodness. I'm looking forward to it too. Now, kind of going off of the Greater Cincinnati Foundation, what are you guys looking forward to in the next year? Do you guys have anything exciting coming up as well?
Yeah, so the Greater Cincinnati Foundation recently adopted a new strategic plan, and so as a part of that plan, so you asked for the next year, but I'm going to actually tell you what we're going to do the next decade, and then we'll walk it back a little bit.
Yeah.
But within the next decade, GCF and its partners are going to invest over $1 billion in new philanthropic resources throughout the region, and so we are super motivated by this idea that GCF and its donor partners are generous and really have an eye toward building an even more world-class place to call home. And so, $1 billion in new charitable investments with about 150 million focused in education, housing, and community and cultural vibrancy. And I think in particular within the next year, what we're really excited about is beginning to operationalize that plan and to look to our partners on both sides of the river, both in Northern Kentucky and in Southwest Ohio, where we will make some pretty deep investments again in housing and education and community vibrancy.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Matthew, is there anything else that I forgot to ask you that you'd like to share with the group?
No, I'm just super excited to celebrate Jean. Congratulations, Jean, on just remarkable work to advance our region. You are so deserving of this opportunity.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Matthew, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Today I am with Joy Henderson of Oswald Companies. Joy, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
It's exciting to have you on. I really do not know a ton about Oswald Companies, so I'm really excited that you're here to kind of let me know about it. Jump right in. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Yeah, sure. So we are one of the risk management firms here in the Midwest. So we're about 130-ish years old, give or take, based out of Cleveland. So we're from the other side of the Ohio River. Don't hold that against us too much. I've been told I have a Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati accent, so maybe I'm grandfathered in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we're a total risk management firm. That means that we do all of the risk for employers of any size groups, down from 2 employees up to the couples of thousands. So we handle group benefits, property and casualty. We have a life department that does executive life. And then we also have a retirement planning division that handles fiduciary 401ks on the executive level.
Okay, great. So you are working with a lot of different businesses across the region, across the nation, providing these services for people. Tell us a little bit about what makes Oswald different in your opinion.
Yeah, so I know we'll kind of talk about this in a little bit, but the employee ownership is really a big factor of that. So, before we get into that, I'll say that Oswald has decided to take a strategic approach to risk management. And I think that's really a key differentiator. When you think about insurance, risk mitigation, you're like, give me the policies, give me the carriers, let me sign the dotted line and go away.
Mm-hmm.
And we really want to rebrand the way that we look at risk. So it's not about necessarily coming in after the damage has been done, but how do we take that preventative approach?
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that we can really do now to implement any sort of strategies or initiatives or really give an employer an edge. So when they do go to market or they are looking for those carrier relationships or partnerships, that they look the best on paper when those carriers and vendors are coming back to have those conversations with them.
Yeah, and that sounds like one of the biggest benefits of having like a strategic broker. You mentioned that strategy piece. Dive into that a little bit more for us.
Sure, yeah. So when I say strategy, specifically in the group benefits space, because that's the side that I work on, we're talking about most employers' biggest to second biggest line item outside of salaries, right? And unfortunately, it's probably also the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to really looking at benefits as a comprehensive strategic, initiative. And so a lot of times we'll talk to employers and they'll tell us, yep, we talk to our broker twice a year at pre-renewal and post-renewal and open enrollment, obviously. And so Oswald really has adopted this approach of, we want to be a consultant and an advisor. We want to be an extension of your team, whether that's HR, the CFO, the president. We understand that there's a vision for your company, right? Obviously, you're in business for a reason. And so being able to retract and attain talent, cost contain, really look at, in 3 years when you've doubled the size, are we still in the right funding mechanisms? Mm-hmm. All of those things play huge components. And so having a broker that can do that with you and for you is such a positive. I think a lot of groups that we work with truly feel like partners.
Yeah, and that's essential. You mentioned, especially for me and us here at the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, that the retention and attraction piece. When you're dealing with employees, benefits are a huge part of that. I think, like you said, it can be easily overlooked. You can just say, I just want to deal with it like the 2 times a year that I have to.
Yep.
So it's nice to know that you guys are a partner for that. And you said you wanted to dive into the employee ownership piece of it. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So kind of another part that makes Oswald really cool is that we're employee owned. So sometimes that sounds fluffier than, the reality of it. But essentially what it does is it allows us to serve our clients always, and do what's best for them no matter what. We're not answering to Wall Street, right? We're not praying to some ivory tower somewhere. We're able to say, hey, we're in this with you. The other thing that it really does for us is we call it the 360 approach. So a lot of broker shops or risk management shops, they're kind of a master of one and a jack of none other, right? And so we kind of flip that script. Your business needs all of those components. It's not just the benefits. It's not just the property and casualty risk. It's not just the 401k. And so how can we come in as employee owners who are all bought in equally and give you our best service, give you our best advice? And quite frankly, it allows for a lot of cross collaboration that doesn't happen otherwise in other places. We talk to a lot of employers who they'll partner with some local broker on the group benefits side, and then they partner with this huge national firm on, other areas of their business, and they don't talk to each other at all. And so when there's pockets or problems, they're not all being solved in the same way.
Yeah, it kind of gives you guys a really good overview of everything that's going on holistically with those clients that you're working with. And tell us a little bit about your background. Why did you become a broker? Why are you with Oswald?
Yeah, so with Oswald, it was really the culture for me. So my background is in HR, went to the University of Cincinnati, and I was one of the weirdos who didn't fall into HR. They actually knew that they wanted to do it. And so I went into college very specialized. I did a lot of co-op rotations there and spent a couple of years at a big corporation, finance, and then I went to a smaller construction firm and helped start up that HR. And I wanted to be a people problem solver. And so, I did HR for a couple of years and realized maybe that wasn't my niche, but I still wanted to do something with that people problem solving. And so actually the brokerage piece of it came from a tragedy in my family, and I decided to get my life and health insurance license. And so I sold life to individuals and really got to hear people's stories, help them solve their problems. But it was 1099 and completely commissioned. So it changed the way that I saw sales and solving people's problems. And I didn't feel like I was doing it as genuinely as I would have wanted. And so, I found Oswald, and it's kind of the melting pot of all of my kind of career lives. And I had the opportunity at different brokerages, and it was really the culture and the passion. Just even from the interviews, it was this dynamic, energetic team that really wanted everyone to be a team player. And it kind of felt like from executive down to peers that I was interviewing with, everyone was wearing the same jersey. And I never felt like it mattered, if one person was validated or invalidated or service or sales. It really felt like everyone was just Oswald.
Yeah, I love that. I love hearing that. And I'm sure that those experiences really shaped how you're delivering that service to your clients. Touch on that a little bit as you've been with Oswald.
Yeah, so I think kind of the benefit to being structured the way that we are is that your role does not always define the things that you deliver on. And so just because I'm on the consultant side or the new business side does not mean that I don't value all of my clients. And so we really wrap our arms around from every angle of the service. So it's not just the transactional piece. Mm-hmm. While those are necessary, they do happen. I would like to think we execute on them well, right? There's also that bird's eye view of being bought in, because we all see the vision, and really coming in and saying, okay, employer, this is where you are now. Here's where you're at. Where do you want to go? Mm-hmm. What are we going to do to get there? And while I'm the one maybe helping them paint that picture, I've got the service team sitting right next to me in those conversations saying, well, here's literally how we're going to execute on those things. And it's nice. It's nice to have all those touch points with your clients, feel like you really get to know them. And I think the service comes from the heart and just the passion, truly the heartbeat that Oswald kind of beats to, and the drum we like to play is we want a relationship with you, and we value those relationships. We have a lot of clients that have been with us for a very long time, and we're always looking for new, innovative, how can we build more? How can we do something different? How can we look at things differently than maybe the next guy, right? Because everyone kind of does the same thing. So it's really those key differentiators that make someone want to partner and work with you.
Yeah. And so for people who have listened to this episode of the podcast and they do want to learn more and partner with you, how can people get in touch with either you or with Oswald as a whole?
Yeah. So OswaldCompaniesIES.com is a great way. There's, some info bars that you can kind of fill out depending on which avenues you're looking for. There's also a Cincinnati page, so you can find all of us that are here in Cincinnati, since we are based out of Cleveland. And then honestly, contact me directly. I'm very active on LinkedIn. It's JOI Hutcherson. My email is jhutcherson@oswaldcompanies.com. So it's pretty easy to find me.
Yes, so very easy to find you. Joy, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast today. Before I let you go, is there anything else I didn't ask? Anything you think our viewers and listeners need to know about Oswald Companies?
Yeah, I think that you're getting a team that really cares. And when you partner with us, know that it's truly a partnership, and we see ourselves as advisors. And so even if it's not today or tomorrow or this renewal, know that we want to build a genuine relationship with you, and we're all really looking forward to doing that.
Well, Joy, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is fun.
Chris Knockelman with Schneller Knockelman Plumbing, Heating, and Air. It's spring now, but before you know it, our ACs are working overtime.
Dave, it's going to be warm soon.
Right now is a good time to get the AC serviced, right?
You can get your AC tuned up for only $59.
So get your $59 tune-up at
SKPHA.com. SKPHA. So if your plumbing and mechanical systems give you trouble, just remember our name, Schneller Knockelman.
Northern Kentucky needs tailored solutions to address our housing shortage. Home for All, Northern Kentucky Housing Strategies, explores how we can retain young adults, help older residents downsize or age in place, and ensure new neighbors have housing options that fit their lives. Dive into the report at housingNKY.org. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks so much for tuning into the podcast as we learned a little bit more about Oswald Companies and about the 2025 Devou Cup. We hope to see you on Thursday, September 25th for annual dinner as we hand out the Devou Cup that is coming up later this week. So if you have tickets, we hope to see you there. Thank you once again to our podcast sponsors, C-Crew, Google and Amazon advertising experts, and Schneller Knockelman. Finally, if you are a member who would like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're someone who is interested in joining the Northern Kentucky Chamber, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. And if you're a member who would like to share your workforce strategies and resources on our Talent Strategy Spotlight, please reach out to Nancy Spivey. You can find their contact information on the screen in front of you or at our staff directory at nkychamber.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys next week.